What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, and stimulus check update. If you haven't subscribed yet to our YouTube channel, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. And remember that new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, I am giving away $1,000 to our viewers here, and I will give you a clue to what's in that box. If you can guess what's in that box and our What's in the Box contest, you could win money directly from me. And I'll give you a clue to what's in that box in this video. So make sure to watch all the way to the end of this video. We have major news out here today on multiple different things. Number one, a new proposal for up to $1,000 stimulus checks for all taxpayers here in the United States. We're going to be going over that here. And how the war, the Russian war against Ukraine, could be coming to an end, maybe. And there's possible peace. Well, there is peace talks going on here right now. But the question here is, would Putin actually come to peace terms right now? And that's really the question right now. Remember, they've had multiple rounds of peace talks right now, or in the past. But would Putin actually come to a surrender where he basically stops attacking Ukraine and basically gives up? Here's some more context.
Let me land on you here. First, let's talk about the Ukrainian ask here of us basically its own. It wants its own security treaty, and it certainly, and they want it to be stronger in NATO. Obviously, we have other treaties, security treaties we're a part of, but how would that work with NATO? And is there some inevitable potential tripwires here?
Well, this is quite an ask. Certainly, I think for the United States, an important part of improving Ukrainian security would be for us to have our strategy for the greater Black Sea region. You know, so much of the conversation about Ukraine is as if it's an island somewhere, but it actually is. It's in a region where we have three NATO allies, Turkey, Romania, and Bulgaria. There's huge economic potential for the region as a connector between Europe and Eurasia. So a longer-term relationship with Ukraine that is not only about security cooperation, but also diplomacy and economic investment. That would be a part of it. You know, we've done I think the Department of Defense has done a great job helping Ukraine with their training at Yavori, for example, and working with other allies, our Canadians in particular, helping Ukraine over the years. But a longer-term strategy for helping them modernize and get to where they want to be. Actually, after what I've seen the last 5 weeks, the Russians are going to be looking for a security guarantee against Ukraine. The way Ukrainian forces have performed so well.
Right.
I think helping them continue to modernize their military and all their democratic institutions is an important part of this.
But General, I guess I want to go back to this idea that Ukraine wants a security agreement. If it can't join NATO, it wants a security agreement that includes the United States. As far as Vladimir Putin's concerned, NATO is the United States. So this feels like a distinction without much of a difference.
I think that the United Nations has a role to play here. And then I also think about the Dayton Peace Accord, where the alliance was able to implement an agreement with the security forces from multinational security forces. Now, Russia probably would not be real keen on a NATO implementation force like we had after Dayton, although we did have Russian troops as part of the I-4, the implementation force. Mm-hmm. So there's a model. If there's a mandate and there's an actual peace and an agreement to be implemented, the problem, of course, with any of these things is that if it doesn't respect Ukrainian sovereignty, if it allows the lines to harden, then Russia ends up being rewarded for their aggression. And I think obviously this is not the direction that we would want to go. Ukraine, I think there has to be some sort of arrangement where we can help them militarily with training and cooperation, but I don't see how we can get past the hurdle that you've just talked about.
You can't imagine us agreeing to what Ukraine wants is if Russia steps back foot, comes back into Ukraine the next time. Basically, we have an Article 5 like commitment, which is what they're looking for, to join with their defense. You think that would be probably a bridge too far for us?
Actually, I think we could do it. We have allowed ourselves to be deterred by Russian threats when in fact the reality is I think it's a very, very low likelihood that they would use chemical weapons. I think it's a very low likelihood that they would employ a nuclear weapon. We have all the advantages of the alliance. And we haven't been using them. There's been too much talk about avoiding escalation when in fact we have the advantages, and we should be pouring it on right now in Ukraine, helping Ukraine. We need to talk about winning, actually, not avoiding escalation. We need to talk about winning and giving Ukrainians the ability to continue the pressure. Don't let Russia start digging in their newly gained territory.
So the question here is there going to be some peace agreements between Putin and Ukraine, or is this just yet another ploy from Putin to divert attention and for him to continue his war campaign, saying, "Well, we're trying peace negotiations," and meanwhile he'll just continue to bombard Ukraine with everything minus nukes and chemical warfare, which is probably my thought. I do think though at some point they're going to probably stop the war. I mean, I don't think this is going to continue forever. I also don't think that Russia's going to win because they're just performing terribly. I mean, the few cities that they have taken over have actually been taken back by Ukraine, largely. It's been give and take there a little bit, but I don't think Russia really has a chance to win this unless they really start to deploy nukes. I think if they did do that though, I think the world would have to step in, and then that just becomes a whole nightmare. It's not even something it's not even something you know that's nice to talk about. Just even the thought of talking about a nuclear warfare is just nasty. But I don't think that that's going to happen. I think that any president of any country, no matter how illogical they are, I think they realize how what that kind of comes to. And according to a new poll here today, inflation is the number one concern among Americans, according to the most recent poll here today. And rightfully so, as inflation is at the highest in 40 years. And when the March number comes out, it's probably going to be even higher. It was at 7.9% in February. And the Gallup poll found that 17% of respondents listed inflation as their top economic issue, rising from 8% in January and 10% last month. Almost 6 in 10 respondents, 59%, say they now worry about the cost of living as a great deal. Gallup noted concerns about inflation are at their highest point since 1985. Wider divisions on the issue were seen among political groups than other demographics, according to the survey giant. For example, the poll found 63% of those making less than $40,000 are worried a great deal about inflation, while 58% of those making more than $100,000 feel the same way. What's interesting, though, is 79% of Republicans worry about inflation compared to only 35% of Democrats. Wow, that is a drastic difference. Whew. I did not realize that that would be that dramatic of a difference. You guys can let me know your thoughts here in the comments, but I would just think that the average common person, especially lower and middle income people would just all be worried about it because it's affecting gas, it's affecting groceries, it's affecting everything at the store. I did not realize that this would be a partisan issue, but maybe it's just this poll. But you can let me know your thought. Maybe it just happened to be in this particular poll. Does it say here how many people? This survey had 1,000 people uh, conducted with a margin of error of 4%. So it was conducted through March 1st through March 18th, and the results just came out here. So I don't know. You can let me know your thoughts here, but according to this poll, 79% of Republicans worry about inflation compared to only 35% of Democrats. Independents side closer with Republicans with 63% worried about inflation. Yeah, that's very, very interesting. The economy in general was the second most important economic issue facing the country in the new poll, with 11% selecting it as the top issue and 58% worried about it as a great deal. Among non economic issues, the government and poor leadership was the top issue for survey respondents at 22%, while the Russia Ukraine conflict trailed at 9%, being second there as well. On stimulus here, there's going to be a major announcement. What's kind of already been announced, but there's going to be more here to follow. Representative Josh Harder has announced a $500 federal gas relief check program proposal per person, or $1,000 for married couples here. Here will be the details. So let me show you this. This is on the federal level for all taxpayers. Check this out. Congressman Josh Harder, a Democrat from California, announced on Monday that he would be introducing a $500 federal gas relief program proposed to all taxpayers later this week, coming off the heels of four major proposals within California for similar relief and rebate programs this month. This is not just for California. This, again, I'll repeat this here just so everybody's clear, that this would be for $500 federal gas relief checks. This won't be just for gas. You can use the money for anything, I assume. And this would be $500 per person or $1,000 for married couples. Proposals to all taxpayers coming out later this week here. So $500 per person. As you can see here, in an interview with Fox, Harder noted that his proposal, called the Putting Gas Money Back in Your Pocket Act, it's straight, simple, to the point, but quite a mouthful, would send $500 to all taxpayers. Those filing jointly would receive $1,000. So yeah, $500 to all taxpayers, $1,000 to those filing jointly, with all dependents ages 16 and above also getting $500 due to being of the driving age. If passed, the checks would be sent out in a similar system to how the pandemic stimulus checks were sent out. So basically, probably the IRS would just send out the checks. He noted that there would be no income cap, allowing checks to go to all taxpayers regardless of wealth. I honestly think they would probably end up changing that to save money. I don't think they need to send out checks to people making $500,000 or $1 million. That's something they could do through negotiations to save some money through the program. It's just not needed. I mean, people that are making that much money don't need an extra 500 or $1,000. It doesn't do anything for them. But over the course of sending that out to thousands of people, it does save a lot of money for the federal government because it goes out to a lot of people. It saves a lot of money. Quote, sky high gas prices are crushing our community. So today, I'm introducing a bill to put money back where it belongs, our families' pockets, said Congressman Harder here yesterday. Quote, the Putting Gas Money Back in Your Pocket Act will deliver $500 gas price rebate checks to every driver in our community so families can afford to get where they need to go. Nobody should have to worry about being able to afford their commute in the morning or picking up their kids in the afternoon. There is no income cap. The goal here is to simplify the process and get this help out ASAP. And remember, a lot of states are doing this here as well. Democratic states, Republican states. If you've been watching my videos, you know that it's really not a Republican or a Democratic thing because a lot of states are doing this as well. So for the federal government to do this just makes sense here as well. And it's an election year, not for the president, but for pretty much everybody else, the House, the Senate, and governors. So whether or not that's a factor or not, a lot of people need help. A lot of people need help here. Despite being a Democrat, Representative Harder has come out many times in the past against high gas prices. Switch that, reverse that, and added taxes on gas, going so far as to write an op-ed for Fox Business about it late last year. However, Harder has also been accused of trying to pass legislation more friendly to centrist and right-leaning voters in the newly redistricted ninth district. So he's probably more of a moderate-leaning Democrat, which is totally okay. People need help, whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or a moderate. And we've seen even Republican governors passing stimulus checks here lately. I got a really good video. I just did that. I did a video on that here. Quote, Harder does care about lower gas prices because, cynicism aside, it's a problem that is affecting a lot of people right now. And a lot of people sympathize with it, politicians included, says Hallie Mondo, an LA area political advertisement consultant. And it's not even just gas prices, it's everything. It's groceries, it's the price of everything. And you could see here from the Wall Street Journal, California Governor Gavin Newsom is also proposing a $400 debit card, whether they're going to send it out through debit card or check, stimulus check. California sent out stimulus checks last year um, for car owners as well, which is how the federal government is now proposing this here as well. Um, for basically, because of the price of gas and the price of inflation, California is also proposing free transit, sending out $750 million, three-quarters of $1 billion for free transit for people in California as well, and gas tax cuts. $11 billion relief package just in the state of California. That's just one state. If you've been watching my channel, all states pretty much are considering packages like this. I just did a really good video here going over a lot of the different states here, and I'm keeping you up to date here. As I get more information on new states, pretty much every day I'm announcing new stuff like this, and on the federal level, as we just went over. You can also see this breaking news headline from the Wall Street Journal. The BA.2 variant of Omicron is now the dominant strain in the U.S. So, yeah, that's now the dominant strain, according to the Wall Street Journal. So we'll have to see if that really catches on and goes viral, and hopefully we don't have 1 million cases per day of that coming soon, like we need anything else, right? So yeah, the good news here is that we could see stimulus checks on the state level for pretty much everybody, depending on your state here. I'll keep you up to date here. A lot of states, I'm seeing a lot of people say, our state don't ever do it. And then a few days later, I say, well, here's your state. Almost every week, I have a new state announcing something, lowering state taxes, state income taxes, sales taxes, stimulus checks, lowering state gas taxes. Each state is doing a little bit different, or multiples of different stuff like that. Some states are actually lowering Social Security taxes for some people. Some states are doing multiple different things on that. And well, this is because every state has a plethora of money right now. Flush with cash is kind of the term that they're throwing around here. So I'll keep you up to date on the state level and the federal level here as well. There's also the child tax credits here. Republicans are stepping up on that front, with Republican Senator Mitt Romney kind of leading the charge for that. He has a bill to potentially make the child tax credits even larger for children under the age of 6 that could provide monthly checks of $350 per month instead of $300. which would be $4,200 per year for children under the age of 6, and children over the age of 6 would be $250 per month, or a total of $3,000 per year. So that could restart the child tax credits there. But if they do go that route and have to compromise with the Republicans, there could be work requirements in there. So people that there could be that. So whether or not that means that both parents need to work, one parent needs to have a job, we'll have to see. It also could lower the income thresholds as well. So I'll keep you up to date here with everything pretty much that you need to know about on a daily basis. Also, I'm doing a $1,000 giveaway here yet again to viewers of our community. Just kind of my way of giving back here as well. Hey, I don't get to print money like the government, but I do my best here to, I see everybody's comments, and I'm just here to try to do my best here as well. So if you can guess what is in that box, you could win money directly from me. The way it works is if you guess correctly, you're entered into the pool of people who have guessed correctly. From there, we will randomly pick 10 people to win $100 each for a total of $1,000. We've done this a bunch of times in the past, and we'll probably do this again in the future. So 10 people, $100 each, a total of $1,000 this time around. Again, we'll probably do this again in the future as well. So I'm going to give you a clue to what's in that box. All you need to do to enter is just leave a comment down below. You can comment as many times as you like. There's no limit or anything like that. So this is clue number 8. Clue number 8. The item in the box is a piece of a treasure map. Okay? The item in the box is a piece of a treasure map. Yeah. And it's actually a real item as well. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts if you know what's in the box, if you have a guess. Yeah, so I know it's getting interesting. It's a really good item this time too. Yeah, so comment down below. I'll keep you up to date. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on new videos. Remember, new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click here to watch my newest video next. You can also go back and watch our previous videos right before this to see any of the past clues. And this is our really important video with all the states that have recently announced stimulus checks. A lot of states have actually passed them recently and are going to have checks going out here soon, and more details on federal stimulus checks. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.